Okay, everybody. So, welcome. This short course is hopefully going to be exciting for you and impactful with respect to building your brand and business in 2024 in what I think is not only the most effective way, but the most ethical way, insofar as you're actually leveraging the endorsements, the enthusiastic, sort of words that people are sharing about you in the world, the reviews and testimonials that you've earned by dint of the work that you do in the world. And this is really a process that's been incredibly powerful, and it's just super effective for all sorts of different professionals in our entrepreneurial orbit. Essentially, this mini course was created for clients of ours who are authors and wanted to share the best reviews from Amazon that they were getting, their books were getting, but wanted to actually repurpose those reviews on their own landing pages, websites, social media, profile pages, like storefronts. So if you're selling your own products that are physical products, even all of these ideas can be, sort of subsumed within this process. So step number one, essentially adding your reviews to your own blog, store, website, book launch page, social media profile page, and online brand writ large, at least to my eye, is the single easiest and most ethical way to expand your audience and cultivate a new community of clients for 2024. So this works whether your goal is to sell more books, attract new clients, build your brand, or I'd argue, for me, the most important thing, showing off the pride that we all feel when we get enthusiastic endorsements and testimonials from real clients in the real world who have been positively impacted by our words and our work. I think I spelled positively wrong there. I really think that's so, like, people don't often talk about that, but I think it's really important to simply just be, happy to be, to be proud of what people are saying about us. And, when you do a good job and you really serve somebody and help somebody, there's nothing intrinsically, wrong about that being the primary motivation for wanting more people to see how your work is impacting your audience and the, larger world around us all. All right. So as I mentioned before, we originally created this tiny course for members of our own community who are published authors and wanted a better way to feature, share, and show off their favorite Amazon book reviews. But essentially, this same process works for folks who aren't writing books. You don't have to be an author for this to be equally as effective. So we just decided, why stop there? And if you offer services in the world, whether it's, readings or live events, or you simply do phone coaching or consulting or in-person coaching or consulting, whether you teach courses the way we do, whether you are building a community and have lots of interactivity or an ecosystem of an audience that's interacting with each other, whether you sell physical products, all of those use cases still fall into the same bucket, which is your products, your services, your work is being reviewed on Yelp, Google, Amazon, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and so on. There are some use cases where, we've had therapists, for an example, who are not getting, or doctors who are not getting reviewed on those platforms, but maybe on Health Grades or ZocDoc or Psychology Today. And there are, useful ways of doing that for this as well. But if you are conventionally somebody whose reviews whose reviews are largely found on sites like, Yelp and Google and the social media giants, or LinkedIn or TikTok, or, that sort of mainstream social media, you are the quintessential client or target market for this approach. And I would also say that even if you have reviews that you're not so thrilled about, there are no better ways to sort of kind of diminish the weight of negative reviews than amplifying and accentuating the positive reviews. And there is no better way to build trust, whether you're writing books again or building a brand or a business with either your past clients or your future clients, than showcasing the enthusiastic endorsements that you've already earned, even by dint of, publishing reviews that may have been through, work you did a few years ago or longer. All right. So in these short modules, my goal is really quite simple. It's just to empower and inspire you to show yourself off in 2024 and let your clients say it for you, right? This is a really important heuristic in marketing where, you'll see on TV or an infomercial-esque style, salesy kind of, pushy stuff. It's always the reviews and endorsements and testimonials that are so persuasive when it comes to pitching a product. And I'd argue that this can be done very, very ethically without the cheese factor that we see so much on TV. And when you let people say it for you by dint of sharing their experience with your work, all the things that we love to say about ourselves when someone new sees our words and our business, our brand, our books, these are the things that you let other people amplify by dint of sharing their own experience. So, it's really easy for me when someone comes by one of our websites or my own content to want to tell them all the fantastic things I've done and all of the great, impactful ways that my content has made a difference in the lives of others. But of course, no one wants to be that person, right? You don't want to be this self-aggrandizing jerk. But what you do to kind of get around that in a skillful way is you let other folks say the things about you that you're proud of, that you'd love to say for yourself. All right, so let's quickly look at the the options here that we have as authors and entrepreneurs and business owners to accomplish that end objective. So, review software is essentially a program that allows authors, entrepreneurs, and business owners to clip, snip, curate, and aggregate all of the things that are being said about us online in one central spot. We are then able to repurpose that content, repurpose the reviews and testimonials that we've collected in the other places and spaces that we own or control. So that would apply to blogs and websites and profile pages and book launch pages and social media landing pages, etc. All right, so one of the questions that came up quite often in the beginning when we were first teaching this in 2023 is there only one option, right? Is like this whole, sort of idea tethered to like promoting a single review software as a service? And the answer is no. There are lots of options that you have available to you if you want to actually do this. And I have my preferences, and you actually see the service that we use and recommend and pay for ourselves. You don't have to pay for this either. You can do this for free. But there are many options between probably 5 and 7 reputable companies that do this very well, and you are free to actually use this process for any of those services. All right, so is there a cost involved in using review software? If you don't have a ton of reviews, ratings, or testimonials to share, no, you can do this pretty much for free. And most of the software services that we either use or recommend have free plans that are constrained by limits on the quantity of the reviews that you can collect and publish on your page. All that really means is if you're just getting started or you're a small business that doesn't have a ton of reviews, you can do all of this for free. If you're somebody like, like some of the folks who I know will be watching this who have hundreds of reviews or even thousands of reviews on a platform like Amazon for books or physical products or that sort of larger storefront, it's a good problem to have, but you have to actually pay for the software because there is, they have a cap on the free plan. It's very affordable, very inexpensive. So if you have a successful business, that ought not to be a problem. All right. So I covered this already in the previous uh, uh, lesson. So the other question that comes up quite a bit is, do you need to hire somebody, right? So is all this a suggestion that requires that you hire like an expensive web developer or designer? And the answer is no. Just about everybody we've taught this to can do this on their own, even if you're a complete tech and design dummy like me, which is true. I am a tech and design dummy. I'm colorblind. I don't know how to write code, but the truth is I've taught this and used this in my own brand and business across our many communities. We run the Mindful Marketplace platform, now a tinyBookAbout.com for authors. And of course, if you're watching this on one of our spiritual growth communities, various communities of life coaches and psychic mediums and all sorts of mindfulness and mental health professionals. So the truth is, you don't need a marketing or design person to do this for you or a developer. It's very easy to do on your own. And by the way, if you have a design or development person, it will take them very little time to implement this for you. It's super easy and literally can be done in seconds. Did I skip a card there? I did not. All right. So the steps to actually doing this are very simple. Step number one, you just pick a review or testimonial service that you like. I recommend FameWall for beginners because it's free, and the paid plans, should you have tons of reviews, are super inexpensive and quite affordable for anyone doing work in the world. Step number two is you're going to create a wall of love for your books, for your brand, and your business. And the wall of love is just this kind of dedicated landing page that features all the reviews that you've collected from all the disparate places and spaces, the Yelps, the Google reviews, the WhatsApp comments, the Reddit boards, the YouTube videos, the Instagram shout outs, the LinkedIn endorsements, et cetera, et cetera. All right. And then all you're going to do is start adding your reviews to your wall of love. I've created some walkthrough tutorials for other clients and communities that I'm going to share here as well. So you can actually see visually how this is done. But if you're like a local professional who's doing work in your local community, even if you have like a national audience, Yelp and Google are the most popular review engines for local services. So that's where you would focus. If you're an author like myself and lots of the folks that we initially created this for, Amazon is the target market for the reviews you want to curate. If you are a social media superstar like myself, which is not true, that was a joke, Instagram and Facebook are the best for you. And YouTube and TikTok, if you record videos that are popular and you have a lot of favorable comments on those channels, that would be the appropriate, those are the engines to pull from. And the important thing to remember is you can do this from all of them. You don't have to stick with one. You can aggregate and curate and collect reviews from all of those platforms. So essentially, wherever nice things are being said about you on the web or in the world, you can add and amplify those voices by virtue of publishing them to your wall. Shout outs from Twitter, LinkedIn, Reddit, Trustpilot, Discord, Slack, and so on. It's all automatically added to your wall once you start, collecting, clipping, and snipping your reviews. You can also add your own text reviews. Your clients can leave text reviews. They can record video reviews, which is very powerful directly from their their computer at home or wherever they are in the world. You can add your own text. You can add your favorite clips and snips, again, from around the web and around the world. All right. So here's a question that, again, people asked when we first did this course. All right, well, what is a wall? Like, that sounds great, but what exactly is it? And do I want one? And it's a good question, right? So, a wall, in the vernacular or parlance of this particular process, is a distinct landing page that you can use to promote your brand, featuring all the amazing endorsements that you've collected about your work, right? So, think about it as like a landing page that features all of these, these reviews and testimonials in one place, that is offered by the software as a service that collects the reviews. But you don't have to use it, and I actually don't. It's really only the beginning of this process, and it's like sort of like an extra something that is helpful to have, but it's not where I would recommend focusing. What you really want to do is repurpose those reviews that you've collected on your wall on your own blog, brand, and business websites, right? So the places and spaces that you control, those are the places that you want to publish your reviews. All right. So when you're done curating the reviews, you simply want to copy the code that this software, let's say FameWall in this case, provides, and then paste it anywhere that you want on any website that you want, predicated that you control that website. And you're going to have that copied to your clipboard. And whether it's a WordPress site, a Shopify, Squarespace, Card, Ghost, Wix, whatever platform it is that you're using, as long as it accepts like a widget or a code paste, you will be able to paste your testimonials on your wall. You can also style them, change the fonts, change the colors, change the way the aesthetics appear, and the way the wall is displayed, whether it's vertical, whether it's a carousel, whether it's horizontal, etc. And if you have multiple sites, you can keep adding and amplifying those same reviews across your entire brand, right? So landing pages, book launch pages, blog pages, testimonial pages, social media profile pages. You can tweak, critique, optimize, iterate, and improve all of the many ways that you can show off just the specific reviews that are most germane, most relevant, or most targeted to that specific segment of your audience who is looking at that particular page at that given moment, right? So if you sell coaching services, let's say in a local community, or you do readings, or you do mental health counseling, or you do some form of therapeutic modality or intervention, but you've also written a book, right? You're promoting your book. You may not want all of your local Google and Yelp reviews to show up on the book launch page, but if you have 300 reviews of your book on Amazon that you are proud of, you may want just those reviews to show up on that specific page. But you may, on your main website or your main service related site, as a therapist or a coach or whatever it may be, you may want the reviews that you've gotten locally from real clients, real customers in your own local community. You may want those to be ascendant or given priority of place. Hence, you would feature those there. So all of this is eminently doable using the style of strategy I'm recommending here. All right. So, again, as I just mentioned, if you're just trying to promote books, which is where we started this, ostensibly, this entire little mini course was predicated on, or for authors in our community, folks who are writing books, teaching courses, and using those books as a way of building a bridge between their words and their work, right? So the book reviews were very important. So if you want, there's really no better way to sell new books or sell an old book than to share the glowing reviews from your last one. So if you've written one book and you have another book coming up, which was the example that many folks in our audience, had, that is a great idea, right? Book number one has 300 reviews. Book number two is coming out in a week. Well, guess what? If you want to like really have people buy book number two, the best way of facilitating that is to share all of the amazing endorsements and reviews from book number one. All right. And again, as I mentioned before, if you're only really interested in getting more local clients, or just clients in general, they don't have to be local, but you have a local sort of review collection, like people in your community are reviewing you on your local Yelp or Google, you would just choose those reviews as the ones that you feature and filter for when you're selecting, what you want to show off. All right. And again, if you have reviews like all of us have that you aren't proud of or you would like no one to see, you don't include those, right? This is not like an all or nothing proposition. I had a review on Amazon. The first book that I'd written had like lots of great reviews. And then all of a sudden, and those people largely were people who knew me from my community, from my work in our community. And then all of a sudden, someone bought the book and gave it a 1-star review and then said, I felt like I needed a shower after reading this. Well, guess what? I would not want to showcase that particular stinky person's review on my next book launch, right? So you simply would filter that kind of review out by dint of only sharing the ones that are, that you're proud of or that you want people to see. Had that option been available to me when I wrote that book, 10 years ago, I would have certainly used it, but this software wasn't available then. So I couldn't do that. But the good news is today we can. All right. So again, as I just said, you simply just want to collect and amplify and accentuate the reviews and endorsements that you most want your friends, family, or client community to see when they land on your book launch page, on your website, on your social media profile page, or on your business. And it's important to remember when I say social media profile page, I don't mean like on Instagram or Facebook directly. I mean on the link that you're going to be sharing from Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn directly. So most people use these link in bio or about me or profile.me sorts of pages for that, kind of landing page. I recommend using something else that allows you to actually embed code like this so that you can actually, show off your best, the feedback that you're getting for your work, even if you're not using reviews, or even if you think this idea is a bad one for you. I still don't recommend using those Linktree style offers. You want to drive traffic to your own website. You never want to build your brand on somebody else's land, right? And you always want to control what you create. And when you create a website that resolves to your own domain, you own that, not Linktree, not link in bio, not, about.me or whatever those companies are. All right. So the next thing to share here is I added a video guide. Actually, someone else in the community also helped with some of this with a video walkthrough of some of the more common questions and challenges that previous partners, clients, and subscribers have asked. And it's free, and I'll link to that below as well. If you're in our community, you'll see this. If you're not, send me an email, mindfulmarketplace@gmail.com, and I'm happy to share it with you. I've also included in the extra resources section some examples that you can check out, which will no doubt help you visualize whether this would be an effective way to grow your own brand and business in the next year by dint of sharing your glowing endorsements. And, a little tongue in cheek, but if you have clients, if you want clients, and if those clients are prone to leaving online reviews, this is in fact an effective and ethical way to grow your brand, your business, and your bank account in the next year that one would be remiss and silly not to actually use, right? I mean, like, why would any of us not want to show off what people are saying about us if those things are likely to generate new business if that's a goal. All right, there are also other strategies for requesting reviews, automating your audience outreach, and creating like super easy, effective, and ethical ideas to sort of incentivize your clients to actually engage with your community, to share their experiences with you. And the worst comes to worst, if people are not sharing love for your work in the way that you hope, well, you don't actually have to publish the reviews on your own personal, brand or business pages that are not, most complimentary to your work. And I'd also recommend improving your work at that point if it's something that's not generating lots of great feedback from folks who are engaging with your, with you in the world. All right. And these things all make it very easy to double, triple, or even 10x the reach you get with your own ideal audience by dint of real reviews that real people are leaving, which is content that is favorable to you. It's content that the search engine see. It's content that other people see. It's just more content, and it has search engine optimization value. It has brand building value when folks are mentioning your name in their reviews. So all these things can be done in a automated way that can create this automaticity of creating, old clients become effectively evangelists for you. They become your enthusiastic evangelists, which is what we all want. We want people to help spread the word about what we're doing in the world, and this is really a fantastic approach for making that happen, and making it happen in a hurry. Here is a example of one of the fame walls, so you can see what that looks like. This is just the wall itself. This is not embedded on their or on a client website. This is just the dedicated wall, and this is just the first piece of the process. You can see some of these here are videos that people can actually record. You can go to send a testimonial, and you can see how a client like myself even could just leave a testimonial here on their page. You can record testimonials, etc., etc. But we'll cover some more of this in the extra resources section. This is already almost 30 minutes long. All right. So, in conclusion, our mission, our entire business model is to empower a new generation of inspirational authors and enlightened entrepreneurs to write books, to create courses, and to cultivate communities that make a meaningful difference in mental health, community wellness, self care, spiritual growth, and enlightened entrepreneurship. All the stuff that we teach and share, the stuff at least that I create, is designed with this ethos in mind. I want to empower people to be able to take control of their own marketing, their own promotion, their own content in a fun, creative, ethical, and non sort of goofy guru style way. There's so much nefarious nonsense and specious silliness and guru gimmicks and all that kind of bullshit, to forgive my language, that's it's offensive in an, in both an entrepreneurial and in a ethical domain. To me, there's so many bad ideas that are bouncing around in good people's brains because of the way we've been pitched or persuaded to essentially follow strategies that are just doomed to disappoint and only make some strange Facebook advertiser rich, right? So that's not, we want to be the antithesis of this in 2024 in the mental health, personal growth, spiritual development, and enlightened entrepreneurial ship spaces. So if you're writing books, creating courses, leading communities, and have a a prejudice towards ethics and empowering people and doing work that leaves a legacy of good, this is the ideal audience and quintessential client for our community. Teach what you know, do what you love, wake up the world with your work. Alone, we can change a neighborhood. Together, we can change the world. If you want to sign up for FameWall, you can try that out here. I will also have other options that you can also try with examples of those software as a service review engines too. They all do roughly the same thing. I happen to like FameWall the most because the folks behind the platform seem to be the most aligned with my own ethos, and it's the most affordable by far. Okie doke. If you have questions, feel free to ask. You can leave a comment in the community, sort of conversation section. You can send an email. And again, I'm going to have other videos like this one and other mini courses that'll be shorter than this, that'll teach you other ways of implementing this approach. If you're interested in writing a book with us in 2024, get in touch. Our tinybookabout.com platform is also coming in January, which is a week or so away, and lots of other exciting opportunities to connect, collaborate, and to do meaningful work together. Thanks so much for watching. As always, I appreciate you, and ask questions if you have them. Thanks again.